They're going to be bringing on FZ on that Ana there.
Well, the question here for Cyclowns on their defense is really how aggressive do they go? Because we see plenty of teams run a dive-based defense, but not every team goes super deep. Some teams will still hold further back. Meanwhile, take a look at Gamers Origin. The question is where they going to run here on their offense. Some teams do like running in with an early Widow, but it doesn't appear to be the case here where they are going to be going, again, a little bit more standard. The question is how aggressive the Cyclowns want to be and bring this fight to Gamers Origin.
Take a look at what they come out with the gates. So Dixie Dix was on that Hanzo, just going for that Sonic arrow, but it's Poco who has picked up that Diva. So no 76, so a little bit less far range for them, but a lot more damage mitigation with that.
Yeah, there is more damage mitigation, but you take a look here at Gamers Origin, and they're actually getting quite a bit for free. Cyclowns saying, actually, we're going to play Gibraltar a little bit more old school. We're not really down with getting into your face, into your spawn room. No, you can walk through Car Wash, and we're going to jump right down on you.
They do have the Soldier 76. That's Destro. He's on the high ground here. And with the divers coming in from the side of Gamers Origin, is trying to split up the team, but they are immediately jumping on into the Car Wash.
They are moving on in, and this is not a great Car Wash. I would rate 1 star because it's seemingly people just jump on you and try and ruin your car, ruin your life. But Gamers Origin, they were prepared. They read the reviews, and you have Dixie Dix moving in, pulling those dash resets out, and keeping Gamers Origin in this fight.
Still, Destro is a threat on the high ground here. So while the payload is still getting pushed forward, it's going to be Davin jumping more forward with the rest of his divers to force him out of position. They're just going to be able to get that first point for free.
That is unfortunate for Cyclowns. They weren't able to get back on and go for the stall that we've seen teams do. Now the split spawns might be beginning here where you have respawns coming in. They have to get back out and not get taken down in the process. Luckily for Cyclowns, they are able to back out. Unluckily, Gamers Origin is coming in here with a lot of momentum. And now Dixie Dix holds the key to potentially keep that momentum going forward if he can land a good Dragon Blade.
Yeah, they pushed them all the way towards that entrance there. Pulse Bomb came out. Zick won't connect with it, but Dixie Dix pushes forward with that Dragon Blade. He's already found 2, and they pushed all the way to the spawn.
Oh, that blade making Cyclowns look like melted butter there. That was a really nice blade coming in from Dixie Dix. And now Gamers Origin is flying through this round. Cyclowns is not finding the mechanical easy challenge that they had earlier in the day. No, they are really just struggling for breath right now as Gamers Origin keeps the pressure on. We're into the next fight. The sound barrier is in, and Cyclowns doesn't really have a whole lot to bring this back. We do have a Dragon Blade out in the back line, and that might be the way. The sound barrier hits, where's Pox?
Yeah, the Tactical Visor also used by Destro there will help him clean up Zick, and now they finally establish some form of defense here, forcing back Gamers Origin, but for now, it's 4 minutes left on the clock. They only need to push it 4 more meters to get into that third phase there, ZP.
Oh, absolutely. But even though it's really close to getting to that point, Cyclowns out, they can take a breath here. They have time to regroup. They do have Dragon Blade in reserve, and the next fight is a little bit more even in terms of where ults are. So this is where a team, even if you've been gotten just sort of bopped around a bit in the beginning, you can bring things back, and now they're looking for a good engage on Gamers Origin as they walk right up the gut.
Right, high ground getting contested by Ben Best. He jumps up there, but there is the Transcendence getting used. Paco coming up huge, taking out Pox. Now they're pushing forward. That Trance has mitigated for now.
That was not really the way Pox was looking to go in there. His Dragon Blade was punished by the Transcendence, and Gamers Origin now creating their own opportunities. They have a man advantage as they push things up here once more, and you just see Dixie Dix in the hunt for supports. Ana gonna be falling to that Genji pressure, and the payload just cruising to the second point. So only a bump in the road here for Gamers Origin as this payload keeps on moving.
Yeah, minor mechanical thing, but I also enjoyed how Falco used that defense matrix as they were hunting down that Ana, made sure she couldn't get the biotic nade onto herself or even have an error in sleep darts to try and save herself off. So minor mechanical thing, but really impressive to watch. Now, Gamers Origin with 4 minutes and 10 seconds left just to finish off this third phase.
This is going to be relatively even coming into the next fight, but Gamers Origin has been winning the mechanical battle so far versus Cyclowns, so they're just taking up the gut. Winston going to leap in towards the back, and here comes the blade. Dixie Dix, Soldier in his sights, results in his death, makes it a double with the aid of Zick, and Gamers Origin just continually keeping Cyclowns on the back foot. This has been a wave that they have not been able to stun here, Jamerson.
No, Latex only gets that 1 consolation kill onto Dixie Dix, but that's after the damage was done with that Dragon Blade. He and Zick have been continually applying pressure into the back line. Now we're just meters away from Gamers Origin finishing them off. They still have 3 minutes and 30 seconds. Here comes the contest.
The contest is coming out here. Cyclowns has one more attempt to bring this back. The Tac Visor is out here from Destro. not really finding good targets. Here's a Transcendence, ruins what he can get. He ends up falling, and Gamers Origin is piling on in the worst possible way. Cyclowns, they just want to get out of their spawn without dying, and Gamers Origin says, no, you actually need to die in that spawn.
Yeah, in these last two fights, only about 2 members of Gamers Origin have gone down, and that was such a dominant showing. 3 minutes and 7 seconds left on Gibraltar. It happens often, but that was a really great way that they did it.
It was dominant, and really if I had any complaints towards Gamers Origin there is that you have to knock them on style, because a true team that felt good about their dominance there, we were really lacking in dance moves there towards the end.
Yeah, we didn't get to see them actually just hold right outside of the spawn with like Deflex or just Winston and Primal Rage, but now it's going to be Cyclones. They're pretty much up against it. I mean, 3 minutes left in their time bank for Gamers Origin. That's a really tall task to try and meet.
It is going to be difficult indeed. Cyclones, if nothing else, I mean, they can take in the beautiful weather at Gibraltar. Maybe if they do end up losing the map, go out on the beach a little bit. I mean, it looks sunny enough.
It's off the coast of North Africa. I still haven't actually traveled there quite yet. I would love to, especially if it's the defunct Overwatch base there.
Well, you know Winston is a squatter, right? Where he just decided to break back in and eat peanut butter there on the government dime.
I don't understand how he actually has the utilities still running through that facility. He's got water, he's got electricity. I mean, he's actually powering an entire space station.
I mean, clearly he found a way to hack the grid in there. I don't really know. I'm just saying that all the stories here about Winston being this good guy, no, he has some issues he needs to work out. But speaking of issues to be working out here, Cyclowns is going to need to come out with an impressive offense to make this next round work out well for them, because not only do they have to complete everything here, they also need to leave themselves enough time that they can make a comeback on extra rounds.
Now, we saw yesterday where there was a huge time deficit, particularly here on Gibraltar, which allowed, I believe, I can't remember the matchup quite yet, but the point was stalled even before it got to the actual car wash portion there. But now, Cyclowns, they're hovering over the Widow, they're hovering over that Hanzo.
Well, the Widow is almost certainly going to stay here at least for a little bit. It is one of the ways that you deal with really aggressive dives, because, hey, if you can catch a Tracer off with one quick shot, you can turn the entire tide of battle in your favor. And perhaps that's why we're seeing teams hold a little bit further back. That said, Gamers Origin is being more aggressive than what we saw from Cyclowns here, where I think as soon as Cyclowns turns the corner, they're going to be dealing with a whole lot in their face. And yet, Poco gets caught out, and Cyclowns, they get the better of things here early on.
Yeah, it's a 2-for-1 exchange as Pox did swap off onto that Genji once again, but Destro from the high ground gets the kill onto Dixie Dix and force them back. So the offense making good headway here. They are going to get through the car wash.
Well, not only are they going to get through the car wash, they're not going to get attacked in the car wash, which actually goes against what most people report happened to them when they go through that car wash. So they're not even getting the full experience they were told they would get. In any case, though, they are one fight away from getting a very quick first cap here on Watch Point Gibraltar. You see Gamers Origin right now holding back. They're going to dive in all at the same time, but Poco is getting isolated and pulled out of the fight to some extent. He's able to survive, though, and now Gamers Origin can bring this right back.
Yeah, they were able to take out Latex, so the tank is gone. It's 2 meters away. They got to contest. 1.26 meters left. Now they are forcing them back, but Davin gets the kill onto Poco. That's a 76 on down, and Pox just readjusting himself, finds himself on the high ground, gets hype.
And this is the adjustment you're seeing, is that Poco is not getting a free lunch anymore. He gets isolated by Davin and taken out, and it sets the stage now for Cyclones to just casually move this payload forward, get into second, and even though their defense was riddled with issues, their offense right now is much, much cleaner. It's Gamers Origin that has to do some soul searching on how they want to defend second here as they continue to stagger out kills. Pox hunting down Soldier here, and actually lets him off the hook. Just needs someone to tell the tale of his story.
Yeah, they're on about the same pace as Gamers Origins on their attack. And so, Cyclowns, things looking up for them so far. Now, the payload has made it halfway through the hangars so far as Gamers Origins have regrouped. They don't want to trickle in, but we do have the Dragon Blade coming up from Pox. He's already found one. That's hype going down.
Pox just devastating the backline here. 3 kills for Pox. Catches Gamers Origin with their pants down and then some. That is brutal, and it is a big time boon here for Cyclowns, where it's unlikely that Gamers Origin is really going to be able to mount a good delay here, which means Cyclowns can potentially just move this up. They are going for the delay, but Noki gives up his life immediately, and Gamers Origin is going for it. They're gambling, but so far this gamble is resulting in profound sadness as they give up 4 kills. They give up the ult charge, and Cyclowns is still on a roll.
Yeah, generally, we're used to seeing, you know, the Zenyatas going off, but it was Crusade there for Cyclowns, able to get the boop, able to just get the left clicks to finish them off, getting 3 kills for himself, and now Cyclowns pushing forward aggressively, trying to find out any more stragglers, but Gamers Origin playing further back.
Gamers Origin right now is just looking for a hope and a prayer. They have been disorganized this entire time, but here comes Dixie Dix on the way. The Nano Blade is powering him up, but he's not really able to find anything there. Finally, he takes out his counterpart in Genji, but it's still not very effective. It was very disorganized, and Cyclowns, they're able to take advantage of that whiffed initiation, and now they're on pace to set an even quicker time.
Yeah, with Cyclowns, when they were contesting up really aggressively towards spawn, one of the things that they were able to do was make sure that Poco on the side of Gamers Origin wasn't able to get that high ground there, so now we're seeing him swap off onto the D.Va.
Well, they're swapping the D.Va, and they have to just swap something here at this point to try and stem the tide. Cyclone's still very healthy right now behind the payload. They are out for blood. They can end this right here if they play this right. It's relatively even fight ult-wise between both teams. It comes down to mechanics, and they hit pay dirt. Ben Best out of the fight, and that's going to trigger their Winston Latex to leap right in, and they are dominating Gamers Origin right now. They're in for the kill. The Transcendence is out. Everyone is alive. And this should be a very quick capture coming out here by Cyclowns.
Yeah, the Primal Rage getting used. Just push Ben Best off the point right now, and it's just meters away. We've got the Tracers. Zik will fall, and Ana is the last person to go down. And wow, Cyclowns coming back to set a better time than Gamers Origin.
I mean, what it really comes down to is we need to check with our admins and make sure that defense was not banned here on Watchpoint Gibraltar. I mean, that is sometimes a thing that happens here, is both teams put on phenomenal offenses, but had defenses that when they were staggered, they were very much unable to regain their footing and buy themselves any meaningful amount of time.
Yeah, once we got to that hangar portion, I think on both offenses, we saw that the supports were the staggered spawns, so they were caught out, and unfortunately the defenses just were never able to regain their footing, get the high ground, none of the better positioning, and they were just forced to try and push themselves out of that spawn door, but now it's going to be Gamers Origins for their second attempt.
You know, I gotta say, when I see that shuttle here in wake of the defenses that have a little bit shaky, it's just like, you just juxtapose the defense here to an old Southwest commercial like, wanna get away? Well, maybe. At the very least, though, it is relatively even here between both teams. They both have a chance for redemption on the defensive end, and we're gonna be going into what is certainly one of the more beefier sets of extra rounds in terms of time available. Basically, another set of Gibraltar heading our way.
Yeah, either of these teams can arguably just finish out the map with the time that they have allotted to them right now, and it looks like, once again, Gamers Origin, Paco, gonna go immediately for that D.Va. Go for the damage mitigation instead of that Soldier 76. Cyclowns running the exact same composition that they did on their first defense.
Well, and for Cyclones here, they're going to hope that it works out a little bit better. They were very tentative the first time around in terms of really deep diving into Gamers Origin. So we'll see if they change that at all. They really let Gamers Origin just get right through Car Wash relatively quickly. And again, they're not really interested in taking this first fight, and they're giving up a lot of room pretty much for free, only tentatively poking back. So we'll see if it has a little bit of a better effect this time, but it certainly is in Gamers Origin's favor, at least to begin with.
Yeah, which is why we're seeing Gamers Origin with, at times, 3 people on the payload. Generally, you see 5 members just going off, doing their own thing, with Lucio just sitting on the payload by himself. Now it is made past that hill. It is gonna make the bend, and we do have the Ben Best jumping back. He was brought down low, but it was Pox that takes out his counterpart. Dixie Dix going down. It's gonna be a 1-for-1 exchange, though.
It's 1-for-1 exchange, and this is where the defense and offense are relatively even in terms of spawn time, so this isn't necessarily good or bad for either side, but Destro has a lot of room to work with here over the top. He's someone that has to be dealt with here on the Gamers Origin side, because they don't. It's gonna be difficult, but if you look at the ground floor, it's really just Zik and Poco that are regulating in and around the payload, and even though Destro has the room, he's not making the most use of it as his team is dying all around him, and that will be a quick first strike here from Gamers Origin. So that was interesting from Cyclowns. In theory, it could have worked better, but in practice, they just got wrecked right on the payload.
Yeah, it was a very similar story to their first attack, where Destro just maintained on the high ground, but he just wasn't able to get the damage off, and that could be largely attributed to Poco with that defense matrix, making sure that the pulse rifle munitions weren't getting through here. Now Zik is going off as he has time and time again with that Tracer, and we just missed off cam there. He got a double kill with the pulse bomb.
Well, now the Gamers Origin is piling on where the defense of Cyclowns is trying to reset, and Zik goes, hey guys, here's a special delivery, and you just see Soldier and Lucio going, no, as they just get exploded. So what we're getting here from Gamers Origin is a lot of momentum. Zig's certainly a big part of it, and now they even have a slight ult advantage going into this next fight. Cyclowns can certainly delay, but it's going to be tricky, especially with the Dragon Blade on deck.
We have another boost coming on out, but no, it's a boost steal. Pulse bomb connects. Noki goes down as the Transcendence is used by Gamers Origin.
While Transcendence is out, Dixie Dick still moving to the back, finds Yana early on, and it's relatively even right now between both sides. You see Poco on the payload with his Winston just try and create space here for Gamers Origin, but Cyclowns, the pressure into the backline works out. Poco gets his man, or Pokes gets his man, and it is piling on here for Cyclowns.
Yeah, there's 25 seconds left on the clock for Gamers Origin, but they've had a decent push so far. Almost made the second phase, and Poco going down. Oh no, he's lost his mech here. They're just delaying his final breath.
Diva, the motto can be you lose your mech, and then shortly thereafter you lose your life. Or you just get to live as Baby Diva, which isn't that impactful. So they're more than happy to leave Poco in here as Baby Diva. Time starting to run out. We see the swap, and no, he just wants to get back into his mech. So last chance here for Gamers Origin. They must touch the payload, and they will as they try and keep this extra rounds push going forward.
Overtime is procced. It was a 1-for-1 exchange. Destro's got that high ground, but Davin once again comes in with that pulse bomb, takes out Noki. So very little sustain coming out for them. The FZ finds the kill onto Dixie Dix. Now the payload, they have to stay on it for now. Overtime ticking on down. That candle is burning.
Well, the candle is burning, but they have this well in hand. Poco is not going to be going for the solo triple kill there. I love Baby Diva as much as anyone, but there are limitations. Still though, from Gamers Origin, this is a respectable distance to bring the payload with about 3 minutes. You see this many a time in just normal course of Gibraltar play in terms of your initial rack of time, and that's about standard, I would say. This is defensible going into the next round.
No, we've seen a lot of teams actually even struggle just to get to point 1, so it's not undoable for Gamers Origin to try and defend this here. We'll just see how they play that Soldier 76 if Poco stays on it. We saw Destro just not having the best of luck up there on the high ground, but Gamers Origin on their defense, they weren't as passive. They did contest before it got to Car Wash, and so we'll see how much time they can burn off the clock of Cyclowns.
We'll have to see. I mean, this is a case where we are in extra rounds. Both teams have been evenly matched in the idea that they've had very good offenses and less than impressive defenses. So now the pressure is sort of on Gamers Origin here, where they can just find it within them to have a bit of a gutsier defense, hold 1 or 2 early pushes. That should be all they really need here to hold Cyclowns back. But Cyclowns' offense looked even scarier in a sense than Gamers Origin's offense. So it's going to be tough given what we've seen from Gamers Origin here so far.
So Pox hovering over that Widow. He didn't stay on it long. The last time they tried to use that on offense, it was just take a shot, went back and swapped back onto that Genji. He doesn't spot out anything yet.
This is just making sure that there's no craziness happening with early dive. It's a very safe place to have a Widow, so he sees that there is no crazy early dive, he swaps out. Although, as I say that, Gamers Origin, again, they played this a little bit more aggressive than Cyclowns did. They're more than willing to attack outside the bend, and both teams right now trading off early dives and getting into the fray up here on the high ground, but Gamers Origin has a huge numerical advantage up here. Only about half of Cyclowns came to the party. I don't know, the rest of the team lost the party invitation, but in any case, this is actually very good for Gamers Origin and how they're opening up this fight.
Yeah, they do have the respawns coming back in, but Hyde from the high ground takes out Latex there. Poco with that Soldier 76, just getting some chip damage on off, but he's going to turn his attention onto Pox, who received that biotic nade and just went down so quickly.
And I would say the problem there for Cyclowns is that they only had half their team go up there on the dive. The other half wasn't really able to contribute. And Gamers Origin, they pulled back, isolated the people that are out there, and they won that first fight, which is a big difference from how the first attack went for Cyclowns. A nice sleep coming out here, but they lose Poco early on, so Cyclowns can still recover here on this attack.
Yeah, they definitely can, but Gamers Origin have burned a lot of time off of Cyclowns. It's about a minute so far as they're finally picking up these kills. They should be able to make headway through this portion of the map, but Gamers Origin are going to have another opportunity to defend Phase 1.
Gamers Origin is going to be able to move right out. They're going to have Primal Rage at the ready and a Nano Boost if they even want to combine the two streams there. Also, they have lost the chance to really attack Cyclowns as they move through Car Wash. It's going to be right before the point. But they have the tools to make this very difficult. Devin moves in, Pulse Bomb doesn't connect, was looking for the early pickoff to make this fight way easier. Instead, we're gonna have a bit of an ultimate showdown here. The engage is out, here comes the Dragon Blade, and slept! What a sleep coming out there. But it might not even matter as it's still 2 kills coming out here from Cyclowns.
Yeah, despite that, Latex was there with the follow-up to take out Hype. Now the sound barrier does come on out from the side of Gamers Origin, but it only connects onto Noki and Poco. Now Poco not going to be able to contest here as Noki does go down. They've got that first point, but now only a minute and 30 seconds left for Cyclowns to try and effectively push it to the end of this phase.
Well, right now they are keeping the momentum going up, and their Genji is well rested because he had a nap and didn't die. So there's a lot of good things going on here from Cyclowns as they keep the momentum going forward. And Gamers Origin just getting rocked here in terms of trying to reset up. They will have a chance to come back out, and a lot is probably going to depend here on the play of both Ben Best to create distraction and Poco, but Poco goes down, hit by the Pulse Bomb.
Yeah, it was a 1-for-1 trade there as we do push out from the high ground. It is going to be Destro with that Helix Rocket kill on Noki. Primal Rage is going to be used by Ben Best there as he was dropped down low, but now he isn't able to find much off of it.
Zik really far forward, was trying to be a hero and ends up being a zero here as Destro goes to town. No Tracer going to keep him down, or Genji for that matter, as he is rocking through here. 3 kills here from Destro, all sorts of momentum from Cyclowns, and they will be taking this first map right away from Gamers Origin.
I mean, we were so impressed by Gamers Origin's original push there on their attack, but Cyclowns just doing them dirty at the end there. They were able to just mitigate a lot of the aggression coming out from Gamers Origin, take the fights that were beneficial to them, and just push forward through that portion.
I mean, the big thing here is that neither team's defense really covered themselves in glory, but both teams had very good offenses that kept up the aggression and caught the other team off guard. And at the end, it was Cyclowns who, on their first attack, they had a bit of an edge over Gamers Origin, and on their second attack, much remained the same, where they were able to keep things in their favor. And it's still telling about the total team contribution where you can have a Genji snoozing off an entire fight with a Dragon Blade, and you still win the fight, not just barely, but dominantly.
And that's